populated by the same European stock that came over, okay? So in Wisconsin, and this is going back a couple of years because this is in order to get the data to match up, I had to go back to 07. But, you know, when we had 23,000 inmates, they had 9,400 inmates. This is what they had locked up in prison, okay? And their jails, when we had 14,000, they had 6,800. Okay, this is the biggest shocker for me. Community corrections, probation, parole, and extended supervision. When we had 70,000 on, they had 132,000 on. So you can see where a lot of the differences and how they're being handled. Okay, and there's some technical reasons and differences in law and state makeup in the way they have structured their Department of Corrections and who administers. In many counties, the counties that do the probation and parole piece. In Wisconsin, it's all state people. And in Minnesota, it's not. In some counties, the state does it. In some counties, the local people do it. And when local people are doing it and getting paid out of county money, it seems to make a difference. When our incarceration was just shy of 400, theirs was just shy of 200. And when we were spending 8% of our total revenue, they were spending 2.6% of our total revenue. Okay? And you need to understand that the corrections percent is not just locking them up in jail and prisons. It's also that really big number there around who's on probation and parole. Okay? So that's all the statistics, and the question always is, what are we going to do about it? Okay? I believe that these are God's neediest children. I'm a chaplain, so I can talk like that whenever I want to. These are God's neediest children, okay? These are people that have special needs. They're not always the nicest people. Sometimes they're downright scary. Sometimes, okay? Although I will tell you that there has only been one guy in the La Crosse County Jail that really did scare me, okay? Maybe I'm not bright enough to have been scared often enough, but the one guy that did scare me because he was big, young, and violent. At 19, he was coming back to La Crosse from prison. His pastime was getting into fights on 3rd Street at bar time. He never lost. He was big, young, violent, and he liked me. And I was afraid of what would happen if he ever stopped liking me. Okay? So, and that leads us to what we're here about now. Circles of support. I can even get it going roundy. Okay? So, okay. That's kind of annoying. So that's a little bit of history, some statistical stuff. Anything else that you want me to cover before you take over, Barb or Curtis? Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about Amos and how Amos came to be involved, and then I'll pick up from there. There's a microphone.
Do you want the wireless one?
Do I need one? Can you...
She's recording.
I'm recording it.
Oh, you're recording. Okay. Then I won't shout into the microphone.
That might need to be turned on.
I did talk a little bit about how Joe and I got connected and the need for the relational piece and how Circles of Support was looking for a home at the same time Amos was coming up.
Okay. Well, my name is Curtis Miller, and I'm the organizer for Amos. And Amos is a name you may not have heard about. What we are is a coalition of We're a coalition of congregations. We're an ecumenical group. We're actually an interfaith group. And we currently, we started out about 3 years ago. And we started out basically just knowing that many people wanted to get involved and make a difference. And they really didn't have most social justice issues you really can't work on just out of one congregation because they infect the whole community, and the best way to work on them is to work together on a community-wide basis or ecumenically. So we came together. We have 4 task forces working on several different issues, one of them being restorative justice issues. That was one of the first task forces that we formed, and it's been with us ever since. Healthcare was an issue that became a task force early on and has been with us. It's actually moved from the national healthcare reform issue to a more local emphasis on dental health care and mental health care. We also have a group that's working on Hmong issues. There was a concern in the Hmong community about their families involved in refugee camps over in Southeast Asia, and we have been working on that issue. And also food and hunger issues. We have a task force working in that area. And we had one other group that worked on the predatory lending or payday loan places. That was a group that worked on that issue. It passed through the legislature, and that group isn't currently moving on to another issue. So that was kind of a temporary one. So that's kind of the nature of what we've been involved in. And I just arrived here from our monthly leadership board meeting that we have been having down at the Southside Senior Center, and at that meeting that's kind of our core leadership group, so we have representatives from each of our congregations present and just administering the whole activity. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. We're basically a volunteer group that is out there trying to do some good work and make a difference. Yes.
When I became aware of circles of support, I tried to research the organization to get more information. I told Thomas before the meeting started here that there was an editorial that appeared in some paper, and I think it was written by Letter to the Editor, there we are. And it said that it was involved with Amos. And I don't know about the paper itself, I read it online. Someone had responded and said, well, that's a left-wing organization started by George Soros. So my question is, have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? I'm kidding. Let's go. Who is Amos? It's an interfaith, so that's congregation-based. How many congregations make up Amos, and what are the congregations?
Sure. Yeah, we have the Catholic. We have membership from a variety of different denominations. We have the Cathedral, St. Joseph the Workman Cathedral is a member. The Roncalli Newman Center is a member, and the Franciscan Sisters of Perpetual Adoration are members. We have Lutheran members, English Lutheran Church. You're pointing up and down. I don't mind which direction I'm pointing because I'm disoriented right now. Our Savior's Lutheran Church over in 6th and Division. Trinity Lutheran Church up on Sills Street on the north side is a member. It seems like we have 4. Isn't there a 4th Lutheran Church? I can't remember now. And then there's, the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship here is a member. We have, I'm a pastor as well. I don't usually wear the jacket, but it's gotten cooler. Or it was this morning. Boy, it got hot again. The Hope United Church is a member. We have the Jewish Synagogue as a member. We have Onalaska United Methodist Church is a member. And First Presbyterian Church over here, or just, 2 blocks up on here on West Avenue is a member. I think that's getting close to our group. Catholic Charities has been involved too. That was the other Catholic group that
gives you much better idea. And I guess my main purpose of being here is to what resources are available to people coming out of the jail. That's my, because of what I went through to try and figure out who you were. I think you guys have a little opportunity to do some image enhancement. It sounds like a top secret, spy-based KGB organization. I didn't think it was, or it wasn't come.
We chose our name because of it's a biblical book, and it has, because we're beside the Mississippi River, there's a verse there that says, "Let justice roll down like mighty waters," and that's why we chose the name Amos. And and we also, it's an acronym, and you can see the words of the acronym: advocating, mobilizing, organizing, and solidarity is another way of talking about who we are.
Got it. Thank you. That helps a lot.
Sure.
But there's more. But somebody else might have some questions. I'll
Okay.
come back later.
Okay. Other questions? If not, Barbara, you.
Okay, I am Barb Hunning, and I started out as a circle volunteer on a circle of support last fall, and I also got involved in the planning committee, which has been an open committee. Anyone who's involved in circles of support is welcome to attend those bi-monthly meetings, and so I got involved there too. And then last month I became the coordinator. So let me start by talking a little bit about what inspired me to get involved and the value that I saw in it, and maybe that will include a little more history about how the program got started here in La Crosse, and then I will talk about exactly what the role is of a member and who our core members are. That's the person who's coming out of jail. And then we can have some questions. So my first introduction to Circles of Support was when the original coordinator, Joe Orzo, came and spoke here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm a member here. And I was incredibly moved by the story of the journey of sort of personal opening and courage for Joe in making friends with someone who was in the criminal justice system, who wanted to stay out, who wanted to put that life behind him. Especially I was struck by the fact that one of the things that he talked about is how the community is kind of divided this way. If you've never been in jail, it's very likely that you don't have anyone in your friend or in your family circle or your circle of friends who has been in jail a lot. Maybe somebody had one overnight or something. But for most people who have not been in trouble with the law, any significant trouble with the law, that's their world. And for people who have been in trouble with the law a lot, their world is filled with people who also have been in trouble a lot. I never had appreciated this. I didn't really understand that before, that our community is kind of divided that way. And one of the things that he impressed upon me is that, well, I guess the way I started thinking of it is thinking about the fabric of our community and thinking about the safety nets that are available to any of us in our community. And one of the things that I was hearing was that the people who are in